The movie follows Dek, a small and underestimated young predator who travels to a cave to meet his brother, Quay. Dek challenges him to a fight to prove he is ready for his first hunt, but Quay easily defeats him. Their father believes Dek is too weak and orders Quay to kill him to avoid bringing shame to the family. However, Quay cannot do it. Instead, he secretly frees Dek and sends him onto a ship toward a dangerous planet called Jinnah, home of the legendary and nearly unkillable creature, the Kalisk. Before Quay is killed by their father, he activates the ship so Dek can escape. Dek's ship malfunctions and crash lands in Jinnah's forest. Determined to honor his brother, Dek prepares for the hunt, but he is quickly attacked by a creature that blends into the woods. He manages to escape and treat his wounds, continuing deeper into the planet. He soon reaches a field filled with poisonous spikes where he finds Thia, a synthetic woman with no limbs, trapped in a nest. A flying beast watches over the area. Thia warns him about the spikes and asks to be freed. Dek tries to handle it alone, but he is struck and begins to lose control of his body. Before he goes fully paralyzed, he throws a blade that allows Thia to free herself. Thia kills the flying creature and gives Dek an antidote to recover. Dek discovers Thia is an artificial being created by humans, made to survive the dangers of Jinnah. She knows about the Kalisk and explains that many predators have died trying to kill it. She offers to guide him since she has seen the creature and lived. Dek agrees and carries her with him. That night, they rest in a cave. Thia tells him she and her sister Tessa arrived 2 years earlier with other synthetics. They built a base, but were attacked by the Kalisk. Thia lost her limbs and was separated from her sister. Tessa was badly damaged, but taken back to the base and connected to an AI system for repair. During that process, the system detected Dek's arrival, seeing him as a possible threat to the company's mission. Tessa wakes up at the base, worried about her sister Thia. The system tells her a yautja named Dek has her, so she prepares a synthetic army to track them down. At dawn, Dek and Thia continue through Jinnah's dangerous terrain. They come across tall, sharp plants called razor glass. Dek struggles to pass, but a primate-like creature glides through easily. Dek climbs a tree, jumps onto a giant beast moving through the razor glass, and manages to kill it. Another creature attacks, but the primate saves him, and Dek finishes the fight. Thia names the primate Bot, and it joins them. Meanwhile, Tessa and the other synthetics fight through monsters as they head toward Dek's crash site. That night, Dek, Thia, and Bot make camp. Thia asks about Dek's clan. Dek reveals the truth. His father killed his brother for appearing weak. Dek believes that if he kills the Kalisk, he can prove his clan has no weakness. By morning, Tessa reaches Dek's crashed ship. At the same time, Dek prepares to continue hunting. Thia begs him not to leave Bot, but Dek insists he hunts alone and says Thia is only a tool to guide him. At a river, Dek finds a large tooth and realizes the Kalisk comes there. Thia refuses to answer his questions. Still upset about Bot, Dek explains his brother died protecting him, and his father saw that as weakness. Thia tells him strength also means protecting others, like a wolf pack protecting its own. They finally reach the Kalisk's den and find the bodies of Thia's synthetic team. Thia discovers her severed legs and returns to her old camp to repair herself. She then tells Dek to leave. She already called Tessa. Their company wants to capture the Kalisk for research. Dek realizes she used him. Angry, Dek refuses to run. He lights a signal fire and challenges the Kalisk. The Kalisk arrives, massive and terrifying. Dek fights with speed and skill, cutting off its tail, but it instantly regenerates. The Kalisk overpowers him and throws him into the camp. Thia fires her weapon, but it has no effect. As the Kalisk is about to kill her, Dek steps in again. He manages to behead the creature, but it regenerates its head and pins him. Just then, Tessa and her synthetics arrive. She throws a freezing device that traps both Dek and the Kalisk. Dek is captured. When he wakes, he is restrained. Tessa scans his memories and discovers Quay's sacrifice, the reason Dek survived. Thia is rebooted and awakened. Tessa tells her that the Kalisk has been secured, and now they also have Dek, another specimen to exploit. Thia tried to convince Tessa that Dek had saved her, just like Tessa once did. But Tessa realized she had made the same mistake the yautja brother made, showing mercy. Tessa prepared to take samples from Dek and activated a painful device, but Thia shut it off. Tessa ordered her synthetic soldiers to study Dek's weapons and left. Thia tricked one soldier into destroying itself, giving Dek the chance to escape. Dek fled into the forest and found his crashed ship. Inside, he remembered his brother and realized his brother wasn't weak. He was a leader who protected his own, like an alpha wolf. Dek found Bot outside and discovered Bot was actually the Kalisk's child. Dek accepted Bot into his clan and prepared to rescue Thia. He suited up in full armor, activated Thia's detached legs, and followed their signal. Thia was trapped in a cage when Dek and Bot launched a surprise attack on the synthetic army. Thia's mechanical legs helped break her free, and together they fought through the soldiers. Meanwhile, Tessa told her AI mother that the yautja was dead, so the AI no longer saw Dek as a threat. Dek met up with Thia again, but was ambushed. Thia killed the attacker and was thrilled Dek came back for her. Dek explained that Bot was the Kalisk child and they needed to rescue the Kalisk too. Thia and Bot went to free the Kalisk while Dek fought the remaining synthetics. The alarms sounded, and Dek drew all the soldiers into one place, wiping them out, except Tessa. Tessa appeared in a mech suit and fought Dek, and he struggled to break through her armor. Meanwhile, Thia and Bot freed the Kalisk, who charged in and tore into the mech. Tessa tried to use the freezing device again, but Dek stopped her, and the Kalisk destroyed the mech. The Kalisk reunited with its child and accepted Dek, Thia, and Bot as part of its clan. But suddenly, the Kalisk exploded. Tessa had survived and killed it. She confronted Thia, ready to end her, but Dek struck from behind and killed Tessa for good. Dek returned home and declared his hunt completed. But his father still called him a disgrace and ordered warriors to attack. Dek, now stronger and skilled, defeated them all and overpowered his father. The father finally offered to accept him, but Dek rejected him, saying he already had his own clan. Bot, now grown, finished the father. Thia stood with Dek as a massive fleet approached. Dek looked to the sky and said, "My mother is coming."